Let me tell you something that might shake you a little. The best revenge is not what you think it is. It's not louder. It's not crueler. And it's definitely not about getting even, because if you're still trying to hurt someone back, they still have power over you. And I know that sting. I know what it feels like when someone betrays your trust, when they walk away like you meant nothing, when they leave you holding pain you never asked for. There's a part of you that wants them to feel it too, to finally understand what they did. But here's the truth no one tells you. Revenge that depends on someone else's pain will never heal yours. You don't rise by dragging someone down. You don't become whole by breaking someone else. The real revenge, the kind that transforms you, is quieter, deeper, and far more powerful. It's the moment you decide they don't get to define your story anymore. It's when you stop performing your pain for people who never respected your heart. And I want you to hear this clearly. Your healing is not a reaction to them. It's a decision for you. So if you came here looking for a way to make them regret losing you, I'm going to give you something better. I'm going to show you how to become someone they no longer have access to, and that is where your power begins. You know what keeps you stuck longer than the hurt itself, performing your pain for the people who caused it, replaying the story, hoping they'll finally understand, waiting for an apology that may never come, quietly wishing they'll see how much they broke you and feel something. Anything close to regret. But listen carefully. Every moment you spend trying to make them see your pain is a moment you abandon yourself. Because the truth is, people who hurt you deeply often lack the emotional capacity or the courage to face what they've done. And the more you chase their acknowledgement, the more you hand them control over your healing. That's not revenge. That's permission. And I know it's hard. There's a part of you that believes closure will come when they finally say, I'm sorry, when they admit they were wrong, when they see your worth. But what if they don't? What if the only closure you ever get is the one you give yourself? Real power begins the moment you stop explaining your pain to people committed to misunderstanding you. You don't need to prove how much it hurt. You lived it. That's enough. The shift happens when you turn inward and say, I believe me. I honor what I felt. And I'm done asking someone else to validate it. Because healing isn't about being seen by them. It's about finally seeing yourself. And when you stop performing your pain, something incredible happens. You start reclaiming your energy. And that's when the balance of power begins to change. There's a dangerous lie that pain whispers to you after someone hurts you, that your worth somehow decreased because they couldn't see it. And if you're not careful, you start believing it. You start questioning yourself. Was I too much not enough? Did I say the wrong thing? Could I have loved better, tried harder, stayed quieter, but listened to admit your worth was never on trial? The moment you tie your value to someone else's behavior, you hand them a power they never earned. Because people don't treat you based on your worth. They treat you based on their capacity, their wounds, their limitations. And their inability to love you well is not proof that you are hard to love. The most powerful shift you can make, the kind that changes everything, is deciding that your worth is not up for negotiation. Not now. Not ever. You don't wait for them to realize what they lost so you can feel valuable. Again, you decide right here that you were always valuable, even when they couldn't see it. And I know that's not easy. It requires you to sit with uncomfortable truths, to let go of the fantasy that one day they'll come back and finally validate you. But here's what happens when you reclaim your worth. You stop shrinking. You stop over-explaining. You stop chasing people who only show up halfway. And suddenly, the idea of revenge starts to feel small because you're no longer trying to prove anything. You're becoming someone who knows, and that quiet certainty, that grounded self-respect, that's something no one who hurt you can ever take away again. There's a part of you that's still waiting for the moment when everything balances out, when they finally get what they deserve, when the universe steps in and says, Now you understand the pain you caused. It feels fair, doesn't it? It feels like closure. But here's the hard truth. Tying your healing to their consequences will keep you stuck in a loop. You can't win. Because what if that moment never comes? What if they move on, laugh again, build a life that looks untouched by what they did to you? That's the part that burns. Not just the hurt, but the unfairness of it all. And I won't pretend that doesn't matter. It does. You were wronged. Something real was taken from you, your trust, your safety, your sense of being valued. But holding on to the need for justice from them keeps you emotionally tethered to the very person you're trying to break free from. You're still watching them, measuring your healing against their behavior, waiting for their downfall so you can finally exhale. And that's not freedom. That's a different kind of captivity. The shift happens when you accept something that feels uncomfortable but incredibly liberating. You may never get the justice you imagined. But you can still have peace. Because peace doesn't come from watching them fall. It comes from choosing to rise without needing them to. It comes from saying, I release the role you played in my life, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve to be free, and that is where your real power starts to deepen. You can walk away from someone physically and still let them live rent-free in your head, replaying conversations, rewriting arguments, imagining what you'd say if you had one more chance, wondering what they're doing, who they're with, whether they've replaced you. And every time you do that, you give them something they no longer deserve, your attention, because attention is not neutral. It's energy, it's focus, it's life force, and where you place it shapes who you become. So if most of your mental space is still occupied by someone who hurt you, you're still building your life around their absence. That's not healing. That's emotional entanglement. And I'm not saying this to shame you. I'm saying it because this is the moment you can take your power back. You don't have to keep revisiting the scene of the wound to prove that it happened. It happened. It mattered. And now you get to decide what deserves your focus next. The real shift begins when you gently interrupt those patterns. When you catch yourself spiraling and choose, even imperfectly, to redirect. Not because it's easy, but because you are worth that discipline. Because every time you choose not to go back there, you create space for something new. For clarity, for calm, for possibility. And here's the truth most people overlook. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. The day they stop being the center of your thoughts is the day you truly start to move on. And that kind of silence, that's louder than any revenge you could ever take. Pain has a purpose, but only if you're willing to listen to it. Most people either drown in it or try to outrun it. They numb it, avoid it, bury it under distractions and noise. But the ones who truly heal, they do something different. They let pain teach them. Because every time someone crosses a line, disrespects you, betrays your trust, your pain, is trying to say something very clear. This is where you needed a boundary, not a wall to shut the world out, but a line that says, this is what I will and will not allow in my life. And here's where it gets uncomfortable, because setting boundaries often means disappointing people. It means saying no when you used to say yes. It means stepping back when you used to chase. It means choosing yourself in rooms where you once abandoned yourself just to belong. That's not revenge. That's growth. But don't confuse boundaries with control. You're not setting them to change someone else's behavior. You're setting them to change your response to it. You're saying, I can't control what you do, but I can control what I tolerate. And that shift, it changes everything. Because now, instead of asking, why did they hurt me, you start asking, why did I stay so long without protecting myself, not from a place of blame, but from a place of awareness. And awareness gives you power, the kind of power that doesn't need to prove anything, the kind of power that quietly removes access, because the strongest message you can send to someone who hurt you isn't anger. It's a life where they no longer get to reach you. There's a version of you they remember, the one who tolerated more than you should have, The one who stayed a little longer, gave a little more, explained a little too much. The version of you that bent just enough to keep things from breaking, even when you were the one quietly falling apart. And if you're not careful, you'll keep living inside that version, even after they're gone. But real transformation, it requires something deeper. It asks you to become someone new. Not louder, not colder, not hardened in a way that shuts the world out, but grounded in a way that no longer invites the same kind of harm. Because the most powerful shift you can make is this: you stop being accessible in the ways that once cost you your peace. You don't respond the same way. You don't chase the same validation. You don't entertain the same behaviors. And it won't feel natural at first. Growth rarely does. There will be moments where the old version of you wants to step back in, wants to fix, to explain, to reopen doors that should stay closed. But this time you pause. This time you choose differently, and slowly something begins to change. Your standards rise. Your tolerance for disrespect drops. Your sense of self becomes stronger than your fear of losing people. And one day, without even trying, you become someone they wouldn't recognize anymore. Not because you're pretending, but because you've healed in ways they never expected. And that transformation, it speaks louder than any revenge ever could. There's a quiet kind of power in no longer needing to explain your story. Not because it didn't matter, but because it no longer controls you. When someone hurts you deeply, there's this urge to tell it over and over again, to make sure people understand what happened, to prove that your pain was real, justified, significant. And it was. But if you stay there too long, your identity starts to wrap itself around the wound. You become known, especially to yourself, as the one who was hurt. And that's a story that keeps you small. Healing doesn't mean denying what happened. It means refusing to let it be the most important thing about you. Because you are more than what broke you. You are what you built after. The shift happens when you stop trying to use your words to convince people of your growth, and you start letting your life demonstrate it. You show it in your boundaries, in the way you walk away from what once drained you, in the calm you carry into situations that used to trigger you, in the silence where you once would have argued, chased, or over-explained. And here's the truth people notice. Not always in the way you expect, not always with applause or acknowledgement, but they feel the difference. Because when you stop speaking from your wounds and start living from your strength, your presence changes. It becomes grounded, unshaken, clear. And that kind of energy, it doesn't need to prove anything. It simply is. And that is the kind of revenge that doesn't look like revenge at all. One of the hardest things to let go of is the need for them to finally understand you, to see your side, to recognize your intentions, to admit that you weren't the problem they made you out to be. Because somewhere deep down, it feels like if they just understood, everything would settle. The pain would make sense. The story would feel complete. But here's the truth that sets you free. Understanding is not a prerequisite for your healing. Some people will never see you clearly, not because you're confusing, but because seeing you clearly would require them to confront parts of themselves they're not ready to face. And that's not something you can fix. You can explain yourself perfectly and still be misunderstood. You can show up with honesty, vulnerability, and clarity and still be misrepresented. And if your peace depends on being understood by someone committed to misunderstanding you, you will stay stuck in a cycle that slowly drains you. The shift happens when you release that need. When you say, I don't need you to agree with me to know what I experienced was real. That's not arrogance. That's self-trust. It's the moment you stop over explaining, stop defending, stop trying to rewrite yourself into a version they'll finally accept. Because the truth is, the right people don't need a courtroom version of your story. They meet you with openness, not resistance. And when you stop chasing understanding from the wrong people, you create space for connection with the right ones. And more importantly, you come back home to yourself. And that kind of peace, it doesn't ask for permission. So here's where it all lands, not in anger, not in retaliation, not in proving anything to anyone who hurt you. The real revenge was never about them, it was about you. It was about the moment you stopped waiting for an apology that may never come and decided your life would not pause anymore. It was about the day you stopped asking, why did they do this to me? And started asking, what am I going to do with what I've learned? Because pain either hardens you or it deepens you. And the difference is what you choose to do next. The best revenge is a life that no longer looks like the place you were broken in. It's waking up and realizing they don't occupy your thoughts the way they used to. It's feeling calm where there was once chaos. It's trusting yourself again, even if it took time to rebuild. It's walking into rooms where you used to shrink and not shrinking anymore. And maybe they never see it. Maybe they never realize what they lost. But that's no longer your story to complete, because you didn't heal to be witnessed by them. You healed to come back to yourself. And when you finally get there, when you finally feel that quiet, steady sense of self that no one can shake, you understand something powerful. You were never meant to take revenge. You were meant to outgrow the version of life where you were hurt. And that is where it ends.